Well, that doesn't play at all, so now we need to actually introduce the podcast.
Yeah, I was just gonna. We can't even jump back into Jackass talk really because I kind of exhausted that.
Yeah, we talked about Jackass for 30 seconds, and that's really all you need to. It's like, yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good.
It's but sometimes it's the best. And then it's like so my dad took me to see Jackass 3 in the theaters with my
What the hell? That doesn't seem like that doesn't seem like your
That was my dad, right? Isn't it great? And so he, we're watching the movie and there's like lots of goofs, some larks. Like we just watched a great clip of Ryan Dunn getting blown away by a fucking jet engine.
That's a great one.
And it's really just classy. But then you get to the end, and I'm sitting next to my father as a dude fucking makes a shit volcano come out of his ass.
Yeah.
It's Mount Vesuvius. Very rough.
Yes, yeah. You can just Krakatoa is just sort of, you can just keep that name. I don't.
It was the one day my dad decided to be cool and fun around my friends.
And boy, did it pay dividends.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, great. It's the same as Fear Factor. I was always like, I like this other stuff that's not
eating bugs.
The eating bugs. It's more bugs. Really just more bugs.
This time we're going to have to eat 3 bugs.
This is a big bug. These bugs scream when you chomp them. These bugs feel pain. Scientists have confirmed that these large maggots feel horrible existential dread.
And what's more is that they feel love, and they have loved ones, and you're going to be taking them from their loved ones.
And you're preventing that. Yeah.
They have a beautiful life waiting for them if you just put the bug down. How bad do you want the $15,000? Are you willing to genocide these love bugs?
Joe Rogan's smoking a blunt next to you as you stare at these gigantic. He hosted Fear Factor, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It totally was. He's just smoking a huge joint, like leaning over the table, elbows on the table while you stare at these maggots. Like, these bugs, man, they fucking, isn't that crazy? Like, we're just like making you eat them for money and shit, dude.
Well, here's the thing: is that I want to see like Fear Factor, but after civilization has basically completely.
So just
destroyed
a slice
itself,
of life.
And it's Fear Factor. But before they do the things, they have to take horrible psychedelics. Like they're just like you have to try to cross this tightrope, but you're on acid, or you have to eat these bugs, but you just smoke DMT.
All right, so it's really not more intense for the viewer, but it's really just you have to imagine. It requires a lot of imagination on the part of the viewer. You have to think of what they're going through.
I imagine this is in some sort of cage in like a Thunderdome style like apocalypse scenario. But anyways, I've got bevs, Declan.
You told me you got 3 bevs this time.
I got 3 bevs.
Like, I don't think it's a record for any of us, but it's the highest we've gone, I think.
Because I've decided I got the perfect balance of 2 alcoholic beverages and a non-alcoholic beverage. I think I'm going to start adding an alcoholic beverage and a non-alcoholic beverage every time. So pretty soon I'll be like 10 or 12 beverages when we start.
Oh my God. It's going to, that's, you should make it proportional so it just, the number raises exponentially. Add 10% of your total drinks each time.
Well, here's the thing is that...
Drink inflation.
Tom Brady told me that I need to drink 1 cup of water for
every 17 seconds.
You need to be boofing water on the reg. That's where he goes into the tent on the sidelines doing some water boofing.
He wasn't kissing his son. He was sucking all the water out of him.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is actually, everyone's upset about Nestle or fucking whatever. Tom Brady is stealing all the water on the planet and using it to expend energy for the football.
Oh my God. Eddie, I can't argue against it. 5 rings in a career.
You don't get that many rings with a conventional water supply.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have Nestle pumping it straight into your veins.
He's got there's pipes beneath his feet at all times. This past Friday, I was sick a lot. I was very sick last week, which you can probably still tell by my voice. And I was really sick, but whatever. But then on Friday, I got home from work and I realized I haven't drank enough water today. Because I woke up that morning and I didn't have to pee, which has never happened to me once in my life.
Right.
And then I didn't have to pee at all at work, which has also never happened before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got home and drank like 80 ounces of water over like 2 hours.
Tom would be proud.
And waited. I didn't have to pee at all, and I was pretty convinced for several hours, like, oh fuck, my kidneys have failed and I'm going to die. But eventually it just sort of worked itself out. But I don't know. I don't know how that happened. It was
maybe
weird.
You really needed that water.
I guess I was. I don't know if I could have been that dehydrated, but maybe.
You're like the inside of your brain is like the inside of SpongeBob's head, where it's just a little stick because it's super dehydrated. Your brainstem just going up to a little fucking peanut.
All that water goes straight to my brain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I got my 3 drinks. I've got this is a classic mixture. I've got a beer here,
okay.
and I also have absinthe.
Oh my god!
Classic. Have you ever had absinthe, Declan?
No, I've heard it's terrible.
Have you ever opened your third eye?
I mean, not like that specifically.
But
I've heard it tastes very bad.
It's black licorice flavored. I like it.
Oh, okay. Are you mixing the sugar with it? Are you using the spoon?
I am.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm melting the sugar in the spoon and then fucking shooting up with it and then drinking absinthe.
Does it feel any different than conventional alcohol?
No. It's a little bit. If anything, you know how you get different kinds of drunk because of like they have different things in them other than booze.
Yeah.
This is one of the more lucid drunks that I've had, where I don't feel like I'm terribly inebriated after having several of them, even though it's pretty high ABV.
Isn't it like 70% ABV?
I think this is 45% that I'm drinking here, but it's got wormwood in it, so
yes.
I should be tripping nuts, but it's just a generally kind of chill drunk. I fucked up my proportions, so I have like twice as much absinthe in this here as I should. So if I start seeing shit during the episode, I'll let you know.
All right.
That's it. That's my current drink status. What is your drink status?
I bought green tea. Last time, you might remember I had some Earl Grey. That's got caffeine. This is for nighttime. I bought a bunch of big old...
sleepy tea.
I bought, green tea is... It's got caffeine, but not as much. And I think it has the sleepy time chemicals in it, too. Green tea steeped at a lower temperature, about 150 to 180 degrees. The high quality teas you do with lower temperatures for a short amount of time. And the stuff I bought, which is like they deliver a wheelbarrow full of it to your house for $10 off Amazon, is you do a bit higher temperature for a bit longer amount of time. But it's still pretty good. I like it.
Oh, wow. So you would say that your tea levels are doing good.
Yeah, I'm authentic weeb experience.
Yes.
Speaking of authentic weeb experiences,
maybe the most authentic of all.
Yeah, maybe. It's that time of the season, I guess, to continue.
It's the time of the completely random period of time whenever we decide to do this.
It's somewhat regular, but we're continuing our adventure into Index, and the universe is crafted with Let's Talk About Index Baby, Volume 3.
Yes. Oh, yes.
This time it's Season 2.
Woohoo!
Season 2 of
Majo So No Indexo.
You pronounce every word is the same. Ow! You're just a dog.
It's fucking Scooby-Doo for talking about Index.
This season aired in 2010.
Uh-oh.
So the previous one was 2008. I don't remember if it crossed into 2009 or not.
It did.
Okay,
it did.
It's
too gore.
So this one starts in fall 2010, I believe, ends in late winter, early spring 2011. In between the first and the second seasons, Railgun has aired at this point. So that's...
Okay.
We've had a whole season of Misaka.
I was wondering what the fuck was going on with her.
Why? What's different about her?
She doing her thing.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of insane.
I figured she was off doing Railgun stuff.
She went on some adventures
Yeah.
It's they found in Railgun. What the hell happens in Railgun? All I remember is Level Upper, which was it's like an MP3 player that makes your level go up, and like the the little the weak little girl who works at Anti-Skill with the flowers on her head that who's not really a character in Index. You remember her?
No.
Oh, she gets a hold of the level upper.
All right.
She's cute. She's got a funny. That's Uiharu. She's got a funny power because everyone always argues about it because she's portrayed as very weak and she's very insecure about her power. But her power is to keep things at the temperature they are as long as she's touching them, which people have pointed out like totally breaks the second law of thermodynamics and would solve like the world's energy crisis and everything. But she's just like a level 0 nobody. Fun facts.
All right, I'm fucking. That's some X-Men shit. I can get down on that.
Okay, that's.
I love seemingly useless powers being useful in very specific situations.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. She never uses it. I don't think she she eats lunches with it or keeps lunches hot with it. Okay, that's all the background, I guess.
All right,
let's.
You know what it is. You already listened to the first two parts.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's still JC staff. Everything's the same. You're coming back to your old buds.
Boy, is everything the same.
So episode 1 is weird because I think episode 1 takes place in the middle of the first season. Because they bring up it's like the day that he mentions it's the same day that he protected Misaka from the shapeshifting stalker.
At the very least, it's a standalone episode that doesn't play much into the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, and this is warm you up episode. So yeah, it's Toma and Index are having typical hijinks, and then there's this big guy walking down the street, and he's
kind of fucking Terminator in that shit.
He's menacing.
He's very stoic, and he keeps his eyes closed most of the time.
That's how you know he's serious, that's how you know he's not being serious, because he's serious when he opens his eyes. I don't remember if he opens his eyes though at any point.
He does.
Oh, okay. That's how you know he's serious. And he's got a big silly Zelda grappling hook, I guess, or it's a crossbow. And he destroys Toma's apartment, but he's not there. Him and Index are at a restaurant, RESTOURANT. It's okay, guys. Even native speakers have trouble with that one, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's a confusing one. A and U do interesting things when they're combined.
Like, just sound like an A, I guess, or restaurant.
It depends on where you are in the States. Sometimes or in the world. Sometimes that doesn't even. It just becomes silent. They just get rid of that, and like in restaurant, where they just get rid of the AAU. See, that's why English has so much character, because there's so much subjectivity to it. You can
much to love.
Yeah. That's no simplification here. What, you want rules for your language? Fuck that. Everything's got so much kooky craziness to it.
Just like this show. There's exactly. Spirit Brothers. Yeah, I was watching this. I didn't remember this guy at all, so I was guessing he doesn't make it. But he kind of does.
He totally does.
He kidnaps Index from the restaurant, and Toma's chasing after him. He meets up with Misaka, who not so subtly tries to give him her number. And the dude takes Index to a roof where he does a bunch of magic spell stuff, hanging strings everywhere and put stuff on the ground. And he's getting really fucked up, performing some spell. And it looks like he's dead, but then he's not really. And turns out he did it all to get to one of the secret magic things out of Index to help this sick lady that he met. And Toma's just like, hey, I could just fix her because of my arm, because of my hand. And
the power is in his hand.
It turns out it was much simpler than he thought it was. He also gives him like a long speech about something about.
He's living his life wrong.
He's not living his life correctly. And then at the very end, we get a stinger of Ripped Jeans girl Kanzaki fighting a bunch of aquatic beach knights.
Yes.
Which I don't think we even see any more of for the rest of this season. But
it just reminds you that she's a character.
It reminds you that the show's fucking ridiculous.
Can we talk about this ED? Can we talk about this ED a little bit?
Let's talk about both. There's a new OP, yeah.
Yes.
Which I don't think this OP is the best, but I think it might be the most memorable. This is the one that I was remembering. The wow. It's very stuck in my brain.
I like Index's little hop that she does towards the camera.
I like that. And during the ED where she's walking with her arms all out, it's great.
Yes. The beginning of the ED is amazing because it's Toma turning towards the camera and extending his hand in some sort of like shoujo like move. It's like, come with me, like very not Toma. I don't. He's acting too cool. I don't know.
He can be cool sometimes.
I'm a big fan of this opening and this ED. They're great. The ED's a little bit cluttered, but whatever. Who fucking cares?
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah, I gotta find that. There's these Japanese guys who remake openings and endings in live action, and
that's amazing.
Very bad. And I think they did this one.
That's the guy, everything I want.
The guy being Excel, and he's got the cane. It's very funny.
Yeah, I'm also a coffee boy. We got serious allergens down here, man. It's rough. I might not make it.
Ooh, yeah. That doesn't. It sounds like it's probably even worse down there.
It's a new allergen every week, and it turns out I'm allergic to all of them. It turns out they're all terrible for me.
I have no idea how bad my allergies are because it's been masked by this fucking crazy-ass Asian bird death flu. So once this wears off, I'll actually know.
Yeah. You shouldn't have eaten that lettuce.
Lettuce?
Shouldn't have had that iceberg. There's a salmonella outbreak in the lettuce.
It could have been. I had a bunch of soup with a ton of, what was it, kale? I think it was kale. Uh-oh. So that went in boiling water for at least 5 minutes though. You got those kale pox, man. I try to sterilize the kratom as best I can.
You're gonna start kratom is also having a bad.
That's got a salmonella thing. I only leave.
That's right.
I only let the chicken thaw on my stovetop for 8 hours, no more. So I should be fine.
I've seen images recently. These are probably fake, but fucking who cares? Of people having their chicken medium rare, like as if that's a thing you can do with chicken, and they just like it's like a bite taken out of a fucking like a wing or like a piece of breaded chicken, and it's just totally raw on the inside. And
then there's just like a Facebook post like, medium rare chicken.
Exactly.
Whether or not it's true, the premise is that they think that the medium rare thing applies to all meat.
Exactly. That's the foulest shit I've ever heard in my damned life. I can't. So the concept itself is gross enough, but like. I don't believe anybody is that stupid to actually eat an entire piece of raw chicken, because that's just not appetizing.
You would have to know you don't like it, yeah.
Yeah, you would have to have some serious dedication and be like, oh man, I fucked up.
Or like chicken sashimi is a real thing, but you need like fresh, high quality chicken. You can't just buy a chicken
store-bought shit that's been sitting on the disease rack for 2 days. Right.
Yeah, I think the medium rare chicken, of course, started with Cooking with Jack. He started that fad. And then it's just his fans gone on. Did you know that Jack from Cooking with Jack was on a Shark Tank-esque food
I
show?
don't know what Cooking with Jack is.
Oh, you didn't?
Hold on.
Okay, Cooking with Jack is a big CK meme because he makes horrible food. I'll show you some videos after the podcast.
Oh, I do know this guy. I do know this guy.
Yeah, he's the guy who the stuff he makes is it's either mediocre or like really, really bad looking.
Lazy Man smoked pizza.
There's oh man. So they put him on. It actually seems like a pretty funny show. It's called like what the fuck is it called? Something Investors Club. And it's just like a bunch of guys probably just playing like really, really stubborn like rednecks, but like rich. and they just fucking tear this guy apart. And of course, Jack goes on the show, and he's like, I got the best barbecue sauce in the world. And these guys are from Texas, and they're just like, all right, you're going to have a barbecue off with this guy we found who's really good at barbecuing. And he doesn't know how to use a fucking barbecue. He's never barbecued in his life. Oh, it's fantastic. And they got a crazy...
That sounds great.
They got a... I think they're kind of... Duck Dynasty really did a lot for this genre because they have a crazy old guy who just yells and just shit talks constantly. It's fantastic.
Well, that's the Duck Dynasty, but also the Pawn Stars type deal where you've got it. You need the old kooky guy who injects a lot of character into it. You've got the straight face kind of old, middle-aged man. You got the young buck dude who's playful, and you got the old guy, old coot. Now, this is all well and good. But you telling me about Cooking with Jack has reminded me of a horrible tragedy. I went to search Cooking with Jack on YouTube, and I was reminded of Cooking with Dog. Do you know Cooking with Dog?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with Cooking with Dog.
Cooking with Dog is a YouTube channel run by this old Japanese woman.
That sounds kind of familiar. Oh, didn't the dog die?
The dog fucking died. Like the week after I found the channel, the dog fucking died.
Oh, yeah.
Francis. Rip Francis. What's the point?
The channel's still going, so I don't...
Yeah. Cooking with Dog was like... That was the special episode the week after. They fucking season that bitch up good.
Cooking some dog.
That's horrible. Anyways.
I know. How could they do that to that dog?
Moving on.
Orientals, episode 2.
They've gotten it bad 2 weeks in a row. They caught it bad last time too.
What did we do to?
Don't worry about it.
Right.
You'll listen to
I'm
it.
sure. It's something. Sorry, guys. So episode 2 is there's Style. Big emo red-haired guy with the fire. He's guarding an old-timey talking archbishop girl with an umbrella, and her name is Laura Stewart.
And what a silly name.
It's not that silly, really.
It just reminds me of Martha Stewart, which is silly.
Sure. So this is the first episode was really just a really quick warm up. This is where it starts. We already going off the wet rails. They're talking about the Book of the Law, which is another Aleister Crowley reference.
Right, and which you were unaware of Aleister Crowley last time we watched this.
I didn't recognize the name, but as soon as I looked him up, I was like, oh yeah, that guy. So yeah, he wrote a really, really fucking edgy ass book called The Book of the Law that seems to just be, it's like 3 chapters long, and it seems to just like basically like half steal Bible verses and just say a bunch of like faux occult nonsense, and but apparently it's like the most powerful thing ever in the Index universe, and it's being held by the Roman Catholic Church now. By the way, the subs we have, or I don't know if it's just Index does this to put a very thin layer of censorship, even though it's obvious what church they're talking about. But all the subs they keep saying Roman Orthodox Church, which was confusing to me at first because there is a Roman Orthodox Church, which is just the Roman branch of the Eastern Orthodox Church, but what they're really talking about is the Roman Catholic Church.
Naturally.
So I don't know why they did that. That's very confusing. It's even in the dub. They say Orthodox.
Makes it a little bit more fictional. I don't know.
But it's a real church. It's stupid.
Not to most people.
And they keep referring to the Vatican anyway, so it's like the Roman Orthodox Church don't have a Vatican library, you guys. It's the fucking... Anyways.
Well, it's actually the Vatican, which is like the... it's the Dollywood version of the Vatican. They've got like taco trucks and stuff there. It's pretty lit.
That sounds all right. So they're really like authors really mixing like ancient esoterica with weird new age occult stuff here already.
I could not ask for anything more. This is everything I want.
So the person who supposedly can decrypt the Book of the Law is named Ursula Aquinas.
Yes.
And she's a girl, of course. No connection to. They don't actually make any references to the real Aquinas. There's no reason for that. It's just a reference. He just used church words.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
the amount of reverence that I would have for religion if I were writing something where I'm like, I'm going to take this name because it sounds cool, and it has a greater significance, but I'm literally only using it because it sounds cool.
I use this word because it sounded important.
It's exactly the Evangelion thing.
Yep. So the Amakusa Church may have stolen the Book of the Law and Aquinas for their own, to force her to translate it and make them all powerful. The Amakusa Church, interesting, is a Japanese Catholic church.
Yes.
Amakusa is a series of islands in southern Japan, which were the site of the Shimabara Rebellion, which was an uprising led by Christians in the 17th century, which I was reading about, and I was like, that sounds like Silence or something. And then, that's literally what Silence was about.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense. It's all coming together.
It's like pottery.
Yes. So then they meet Agnese Sanctus, who is voiced by the Rie Kugimiya.
Wow.
And is my favorite character design in the entire show. She's got like foot tall platinum platform shoes.
Well, platinum might use shoes like this in their games.
Platform sandals, I guess you would call them. I don't know.
These are horribly impractical pieces of footwear.
She uses them pretty well. I guess
except for the scene where she falls over.
Except for the time she trips. Yeah, that's
and then the toe man hilariously falls into her groin.
Oh yeah, right in there.
Yeah,
and she got like bright red hair with like dreadlocks, but like, well, not dreadlocks. They're like braids. They're not dreadlocks. Braids. But lots of braids. And so they meet her. Toma meets this mommy nun and gives her directions, and it turns out, that's Ursula Aquinas. She escaped.
Wow.
And so they are all together now. And then I remember the evil floating beach ball.
Oh, I remember.
That was never.
How could I forget?
They never really went into that, did they? But there's an evil floating beach ball who talks to them and then opens up a big hole in the ground and sucks Aquinas through. They're really hyping up this Book of the Law like it's not like fucking fedora ass nonsense. They're just like, if we don't get this book back, man, the fucking world, it's fucking over. So Ursula's gone. Nun panties we covered.
Is this Aleister Crowley's greatest legacy?
Yes, this season.
This is easily the most that he's ever been held in reverence, for sure.
What's his following? It's like hold on.
The Crowleys.
We would call ourselves the Crowleys.
The crowd gang. Yo, imagine if Aleister Crowley was like a YouTuber. Yo, what's up, my Crowleys? Today we're gonna talk about
Thelema.
We're gonna talk about burning your enemies from afar using black magic.
The fundamental principle underlying Thelema, known as the law of Thelema, is do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.
Satanism. Man, this ruined a generation of kids.
I don't know how many kids got into Thelema.
If you were a kid who got into Thelema, I'm that's just respect. Like, that mad respect for that. Because you were, like, committed. Because some people dabbled in darkness. We're like, oh my god, I read Edgar Allan Poe. You know what I mean? It's fucking pretty dark. You know, The Raven. It's what I'm about. You know, I love Nirvana.
I read his 3 creepy short stories and ignored thousands of other. Fucking Edgar Allan Poe just fucking came up with the Big Bang like by himself without having any experience in science. He just like deduced it from logic, and everyone just thinks of him as spooky story guy.
Ooh, this is so good to tell by the campfire. Wow, a beating heart underneath my floorboards? That's horrifying.
Oh man, the crow talked. That's so fucking freaky, man. That guy's a genius.
Whoa.
What was you were saying something? I don't.
No, I wasn't. Okay. You know, I wasn't saying shit.
I'd say don't be too hard on yourself. So one other thing I like is that the Amakusa like literally have a Japanese fast travel perk. Like they can just go to wherever, I guess.
It's a unique brand of Eastern magic.
Sure. And then like we get one scene in between the nun panties, and Toma immediately steps in on her and Index in the shower, and she grabs him because she's scared of a slug. And then a scene after that, she sleepwalks and gets into his bed with him.
I feel like they got most of the hardcore ecchi perversion. I say hardcore loosely. I feel like they got most of the ecchi perversion out of the way in like the first half of this, season, the first quarter of the season, because like it happens later on. But
it happens a lot. Dude, there's one episode where it happens like 3 times.
Am I just desensitized? Do I not even feel it anymore?
There's a chunk in here where it doesn't happen as often. There's like a few episodes, but then we get to like episode 7, and it's like I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right.
So yeah, there's just a bunch of nuns in like a camp, and they're sleeping, and then Mugen from Samurai Champloo shows up. So that's cool. End of that episode.
Fucking right. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm like, Jesus, they just straight up did the haircut and everything.
That's what they look like.
It's just the Spike Spiegel haircut.
Yep.
Again. Which, I mean, I would rock that haircut if I could. I don't have those glorious ancient genetics. I can't make it happen.
Ancient Japanese genetics folded over 1,000 times.
my hair gel applied over 1,000 times.
I comb 1,000 eggs into my hair every day.
David's knocking on my door because he just got home from.
Don't fucking answer it.
I'll be right back.
Oh, god damn it.
All right, it actually wasn't David. It was Brian. She wanted to apply roach stuff in my room.
Did she?
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry about that.
I'm glad someone cares about your roaches, at least.
Yeah, well, we didn't see them for a while. I was wondering, where are my roaches at?
Oh, like they're just going to go away.
Oh, I mean, we got rid of them for a while. Or they just got really good at hiding, at the very least. In which case, like, doesn't bother me none.
They are pretty good. Oh, gross. Okay.
Nun camp. Welcome to Nun camp.
Welcome to Nun camp. Time for Nun. That was this one time at Nun camp. Nothing happened. We were all celibate. Yeah. So, episode 3 is where we learned that the Amakusa are, I guess, like just a bunch of teens with swords. Like 3 of them. Or I guess 4 if you include Kanzaki.
There's Amakusas all throughout the United States of America. There's an Amakusa at every high school in the United States for sure.
Shing. Don't mess with me.
I've studied the blade.
I always see him. He's out in his driveway cutting the water bottles up. Love that Amakusa kid.
He's pretty good at it.
He's very good, despite his enormous girth. So Steel, please stop putting out cigarettes after 2 drags. He does it so much, and it's really like half of his character, and I don't like that half.
Well, I feel like he goes and picks them up afterward, because like nobody can afford that many ciggies.
I don't know. He throws them sometimes. I think Toma and Aquinas are running from the Amakusa, and Aquinas is being all cute, and Toma negates Steel's big flame attack and then punches/tackles the Samurai Champloo guy. But then Samurai Champloo guy tells them that it was all set up by the Catholics, and this is where I got really confused because I still didn't know which church they were talking about.
Right?
I was like, wait, I think maybe the subs fucked up and actually did say Catholics at one point. Because I was like, wait, I don't know the position of the Orthos and the Catholics and all this. So I had to look it up and realize, like, oh, okay, it's all Catholic. It's Catholics all the way down.
I just kind of gave up.
You just kind of let it wash over you. I understand.
That is basically how this viewing index went, and I couldn't have done it any better way. This is exactly how I should have consumed this content.
My second run, I decided to, get to try to understand it a bit, and I feel like I accomplished that. So,
okay, so we're coming from 2 different perspectives. So that's good.
Yeah.
This is all like just a wash of color and noise to me, and it was just beautiful. It was like listening to like Abbey Road for the first time. just kind of overwhelming,
Yeah, but then the second time you listen, you're like, wait a second, they fucking killed Paul. Oh my God. That's horrible. That's a perfect metaphor.
Wait a minute, the Catholics are the Roman Orthodox.
Oh my God. Episode 4, Index, again, picks a very arbitrary time to get good at magic and takes a bunch of people out. I think there's two...
Yes.
There's 2 Catholic nuns, and one of them's like cute explosions girl, and one of them's angry yelling at the other one.
Those are my favorite times, by the way. The Index, when she decides to be OP, is really great.
Oh yeah.
And this is part of letting it wash all over me, is that it's just I don't know. It's seamless. The transition is seamless. Which is like the thing that I have to say about the show the most is that when the peaks and valleys of like comedy and action flow together fucking perfectly, and I don't know how the fuck they do it. Really, I don't understand. It's high art in their ability to go from complete goofy bullshit to hype action with no sort of like, there's no dividing line. It just happens so organically to where I'm not even aware that it's happening.
Yeah, and it's
genius.
It's never like super high stakes action, but it's good. It's good action.
It's perfect. I think we discussed it let's talk about Index, one of the first 2 episodes, that the pacing of this show is fucking amazing. It's perfect.
It's like still extremely watchable. Yeah.
It's so easy to consume. I never once think like, man, I'm bored watching Index, because they're throwing so many fucking left hooks at you. We'll talk about it when we get to the resolution of this episode. But
yeah, but
this kind of solidified my opinion of Index here.
I finished this arc and I was like, I guess that was an okay couple episodes. And I go back, that was 4 episodes. They do this like barely anything happens. This is 4 episodes of the show.
Right.
I had no idea. I legitimately thought it was like 2.
Mm-hmm.
So then someone explains that I guess the author of Index just thinks that the church, when it excommunicates someone, it can just kill them. That's kosher in this universe.
Very dogmatic.
And what is your position? Let's get a quick. Let's just test the waters here. How would you, personally? I would like Ria Kagemiya to beat the shit out of me with her huge platform shoes. What is your opinion on this?
I like the level of removal that comes from having a solid foot of material between me and the foot. Because as we know, feet are gross, and I don't like them touching me. but I also like the just general dismissal of somebody stomping on me, specifically my groinal region. So if somebody could stomp on me, specifically my balls, using platform shoes, I'm really into it. If we're talking like Lizzie McGuire style, early 2000s giant sandals, that's the best possible outcome.
There you go. Yeah. Oh man. How did you pull out those sandals out of nowhere? Do you think about those sandals a lot? That's a perfect.
It just like cartoon version of Lizzie McGuire specifically.
Oh my god, yeah, those are some big ass fucking shoes.
They're huge.
Oh, that's a deep fucking cut. Holy shit, that's good.
Yes! I nailed that shit. All right, let's go.
Oh, fuck.
Joke accomplished.
So everything's getting very silly now. All the Catholic nuns get really super evil very suddenly.
Yes. They're brainwashed at this point. Like they're just zombies.
They just become like a legion, and so the Toe Man gets a big old punch in, not the biggest punch, but a good punch in on Agnese. And apparently earlier when Toma gave Aquinas like his just like a rosary that Steele gave to him, that just converted her entire religion. So she's Anglican now, I think. She's Anglican now.
I love it.
I love congratulations. It. No ceremony. It's nothing. And then,
well, when you've been at it for so long, when you've been at war for so long, allegiances need to be able to be flipped that easily. Because I'm sure there have been instances of this prior to this event, where they just need to get somebody.
That's just the same as the digging up the babies and not crucifying them, fucking baptizing them. Yeah, it's the same thing. You just
washing them in the blood of the Christ.
Hey, nice to meet you. Shake my hand. Oops, gotcha. You're Catholic now. Haha. It's like a big game of tag they play.
It's like if they had like a hand buzzer that then slipped a necklace around.
You want a slice of gum? Oops, Catholic.
It's like, you see that glass you're drinking? What's in that ice cube? Is that a cross?
Hey, play this game. You have to keep the mouse really steady and get it through this maze, and then they get almost all the way through, and just really suddenly, submit to Rome appears on the screen, and they go, ah! And this really, really loud church bells.
That's a really beautiful flower. Let me get a whiff of that. Whoa! It's holy water! Ah!
So then Toma's fighting and Steele shows up. It's like they all split up in the scene beforehand, and then they all independently reconvene to save Aquinas. It's dumb. So Index and everyone shows up, and then Index sings a scary song that scares all the nuns. All these nuns with medieval weaponry, just brandishing them.
Well, their ideology is being called into question. That's the scariest thing of all.
You gotta whip out your fucking what's the ball with the spikes?
A flail.
Flail. I'm sure one of them has a flail.
A mace.
Yeah, the mace. Yes.
What the fuck is that called? A morning star?
Yes. All those things.
Just if your ideology is so fragile that a song from the opposing point of view sends you into hysterics, I mean,
I don't think they can help
get a new ideology.
I was trying to remember why I was watching all this with a vague recollection of it, and I was thinking, why do I feel like I really hate this episode? And then they take out all these pens and stab themselves in the ears. And
why is it pens?
Because
why is it pens?
Like
Declan?
Old fancy pens, I guess, and that's a Catholic thing.
But why is it not like, I don't know, anything other than pens?
What else what else is there?
Sewing needles. What do nurses have to do when they're not fucking flapping their shit around?
You're saying nurses?
Probably.
They're not
nuns.
nurses.
Fuck.
I mean, I guess.
Oh no, the absinthe is kicking in.
Nuns can be nurses, I guess. Civil War. I think a lot of the nurses were nuns, probably. So.
Anyways.
That's why I had traumas about this episode. And then episode 5 opens, they do it again. They put the big-ass pens all the way in their ears. I don't know how they get them in there. They're big pens. But that makes it so they can't hear Index's song. But then it's revealed that Aquinas can't actually decipher the Book of the Law because there's too many ways to decipher it, and all but one are decoys. So after a very, very protracted build-up, Toma gets a very, very easy punch in on the Rie. Just kind of runs up to her and punches her. And then Style makes a big fire guy who busts through the doors. And Toma gets a huge second punch in with... that's the one that has... There's always one punch where you can tell it's over, where they draw all the face lines.
Yeah. This sequence is one of my favorites throughout this entire arc that we watched, in that... Toma is finally starting to get it. He's been in enough fights to where he's pretty good at it. Because he's, obviously has plot armor a lot of the time, but the idea of him being able to come up with the strategy to summon this giant style monster, that's good shit. That's you kind of, this is what I'm like, he's actually starting to get it. He's been, I felt like there's a development in the character that might not be there otherwise because of that. Because, I don't know. He's learning to strategize, which kind of comes into play later in the season.
I mean, kinda. Yeah.
I'll lay out my argument as we continue.
I forget what else he plans, but you might be right. I feel like most of the time he's winging it, but
But he's good at winging it, which is all that really matters.
He's good at he's good at punching stuff. By the way, along with Roman Orthodox, they also say English Puritan Church, which by the way, which they actually mean the Anglican Church, the Church of England, which is a weird thing to call it because the Puritans existed only because of their direct opposition to the Anglican Church. So they're calling it the opposite. It's very strange. But anyway, the Amakusa and the Anglicans are buds now. And Kanzaki visits Toma in the hospital, and she's Dere now. So they're buds. And I just really wish Agnese got more screen time, because I think that's the last we ever see of her. Man, I just like looking at her. She's so good. Really short and undress.
And also huge shoes.
Big shoes. Big shoes. I'll miss you, Agnese. But that's the end of that arc. So we're 5 episodes in now.
All right.
So
episode 6, baby. Let's go.
Episode 6. Hey, remember that satellite that got exploded?
Maybe.
I think that was in...
Was that Index?
That was in Index. That was in the first season. It happened when they were rebooting Index. She shot a beam through the ceiling, and it destroyed a satellite.
Right.
And then later, it turned out that satellite had the supercomputer that was doing the calculations for Misaka's clone experiment. So now that they didn't have the computer, it made it possible for her to end the experiment by doing something outside of the original model's calculations, because they can't do any further calculations because the computer's gone. So a lot going on with this computer here.
All right, man. Dude, I'm 4 drinks too deep for this.
Okay. The listeners got it, okay?
Okay, I'm glad.
So, yes, that means it's Misaka time. Finally, episode 6. She has barely been in the show at all.
It's been a while.
Yes. So Misaka and Kuroko are hanging out in their part of town, which is fancy girls' school, private school part of town, which with much better architecture than the rest of the city, by the way. Gotta say, very fancy. Lots of rock. Kuroko is...
Lots of rock.
There's lots of rock, lots of stone.
Stone, perhaps?
Whatever. The point is, it's not sterile glass like the rest of the city.
It's like the playlist of everybody born before the year 1990. Lots of rock.
There's so much rock.
Sorry.
Kuroko is part of... She calls it judgment, but it's also anti-scale. I don't know the difference. The point is that she's a cop. And she beats up a bunch of suitcase thieves, but then she gets visited by another teleporter who impales her with a bunch of stuff. And the other teleporter is part of a group trying to restore Tree Diagram, which is the computer. And then also in this episode, we get Accelerator and Last Order hanging out too, which is great.
This is an episode like, wait, what does this have to do with the Toe Man? It turns out nothing. Nothing has to do with the Toe Man in this episode. And sometimes that's a good thing. I fucking love this particular arc. This is one of my favorite arcs, if not my favorite arc from the bit that we watched.
There's really good stuff going on. Yeah, we're introduced to this dynamic between, well, like we kind of were last time, but Accelerator and Last Order have this ongoing dynamic, which is just great because he's kind of neutered now, so she can like bug him more, and he's just pissed off all the time. It's fantastic.
Yes.
They're chilling in a bath together,
And this is the beginning of the redemptioning of the, aka the redeeming of the Accelerator. Kind of,
yeah. So Misaka apparently is already involved with this teleporter lady. We're just never like shown it. I don't know. We're not really sure how they like met, or like how they're involved. I don't know. She's just fighting them, I guess, occasionally.
Now, the teleporter lady's abilities are really brutal. Because she can teleport objects without touching them physically.
Yes.
Which allows her to just fucking shove shit into people, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like at one point, you're gonna have to help me with her name.
Kuroko
gets a fucking bottle opener in her arm, and that's horrifying. I don't want to pull that out of my arm
One
at all.
time she dodges, and a tray shows up right where her neck would have been.
Horrible
stuff. Just all the stuff that happens in this show are just
This like particular arc though is some of the most horrifying conceptual stuff in the show, of like just needles flying into people's arms. teleportation is an overpowered trait, and being able to teleport other stuff, fuck.
It's yeah. So and then at the end of that episode, Misaka 1032. I call her 1032, even though it's 10,032. Whatever. 1032 is long gone, so I'm talking about 10,032. She wakes up in the hospital and starts getting ready. Episode 7, Kuroko and other teleporter girls still fighting, but this time Kuroko has the upper hand. She shows up in like a restaurant that they're both in, and so this time Kuroko knows what's going on. She's acting all haughty accordingly. So they fight a bunch. Kuroko gets crushed by a bunch of tables. And this is when the suitcase lady fills Kuroko in on Misaka's clone situation, because she did not know that before. Meanwhile, all the clones are mobilizing. And 1032, I think it's 1032, or is it 1031? I forget. It's one of those. She goes to Toma and tells him what's going on. And then Suitcase Girl's goal, it is revealed, is to rebuild tree diagram to figure out what Esper powers is, why they are.
A lot of the overarching narrative of the show just like is not, I don't want to say incongruous, but just I don't care to really pay attention to it because the on-screen action and the on-screen, just narrative itself, like the micro scale is what I really care about. I don't really care about the organizations because I can't possibly follow them my first viewing, so I'm just gonna let it happen. And the microscopic, when you zoom right in and see what the characters are doing, that's the shit I really care about.
Sure.
So everything that you've recapped in terms of like this organization is looking to do this thing just goes over my head, and I'm okay with it.
It's just a group of Espers who want to know Esper stuff, and they're in contact, it is said, with the scientist who was experimenting with Accelerator, who he killed in the first season. So it's basically those guys again.
Okay.
So then Kuroko, in a genius move, decides to try and hit her with a lamp, and then gets shot. Shot in the belly. Suitcase Girl freaks out, and stuff starts floating everywhere. And then we get this iconic Kuroko rescue by Toma. He's running over all that
How does he do
furniture.
it? How does he do it this time, though?
Because sometimes
he sucks, but other times he doesn't suck. If there's a girl's life on the line, he's there.
He's gonna
clutch that shit out.
Yeah. So you might think that Kuroko Toma ship is silly, but there's precedent. He princess carries her right there. There it is. Right.
Oh, that's all the justification I need, baby. Yeah. I watched fucking Legend of Korra. You could pull shit out of your ass in the last episode and it's valid.
So then...
Oh, wow.
Well, we're not done. End of episode 7 is easily my favorite part, possibly of this entire season, almost certainly in this group of episodes. I was trying to remember, like, this teleportation girl, like, she's only in a couple episodes. Her character's not that memorable. Why do I get such a distinct reaction when I see her? I know, like, I recognize her so much. It's because this last scene, the most important thing about her is that she's walking down the street with the suitcase. It's, I guess, somewhat victorious because she still has the suitcase full of supercomputer parts. And she's just walking, and fucking Accelerator shows up and just fucking punches. Of all the punches Toma does, Accelerator easily has probably the best punch in this whole series. He knocks her like 3 city blocks into a building, and it's so fucking brutal.
Well, Accelerator's been in the opening, and you've seen him a little bit, but this is the first time you see him unleashed again. And it just comes back with such a force, and you remember why you love him in the first place.
He has no reason to be there. He just shows up and is like, "Hey, yo, check this out."
Oh, by the way, I can fly now.
Oh, yeah, he flies. Oh my god,
I don't know how Vector's playing that flying, but it makes sense. I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, he domes that girl for sure.
Oh my god, she gets fucked up so bad.
It's not even like he just once he's done, he just picks up his fucking crutch and gets back to walking. Like it's not even a big part of his day.
I still don't know why he did that. I don't know why he was there.
I'm just happy he was.
That whole scene's so fucking good. The punch is so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a joy to watch for sure.
Oh man. And so say goodbye to Kuroko for the rest of the series because that was the last part she will ever be part of the story.
She is now a gimmick character.
She's a gimmick character. She's a gimmick character for a while, and then she just disappears.
Really?
I've heard.
Is she going to be in World War III?
I've heard in the novels she has not even been mentioned for like 7 volumes. Like she's just gone. The author just stopped caring and just didn't feel like writing her in it anymore.
Well, what a way to go out.
She just disappeared. Yeah. Bye, Kuroko. We'll see you if they make another season of Railgun. Episode 8 begins the school festival arc. I love school festival arcs. So it's like a school festival, but for the whole city. So all these schools are having a festival.
It is Academy City after all.
Yes. So we get to meet Toadad and Misa Mom again. Oh wait, we haven't met Misaka Mom yet.
It's immediately apparent from the second you see her exactly who she's going to be.
Yes.
Even if you didn't pay attention to the goddamn.
She looks like Misaka, except she looks like she's going on a safari and she's stacked also.
Yes. Bodacious Ma.
Yeah. And Toadad is into her.
He can't help it.
You know, what are you gonna do?
Look. Toadad is loyal because he gave birth. He didn't give birth. He sowed the seed for the most righteous man who's ever lived, the Toe Man. But he's seduced and appreciates the sheer glory of what a righteous figure that Misa Mom has.
Mm-hmm. So they're interacting. I think Toma's mom's jealous, but there's trouble brewing. There's the Anglican lady with the hair. She's talking about this here stab sword. The stab sword.
Fuck!
As if they can do anything else.
Why? Just if you dig one layer deeper, you could just use the thing that Evangelion already used, the Lance of Longinus.
Well, you can't copy that.
Well, you don't have to copy it because it's in the Bible, motherfuck. It's there.
There's got to be other stabby things in the Bible.
Like the stab sword.
Like the stab sword.
Fuck.
And then also this whole arc has a bit of a theme. We meet another classmate of Toma's, who I simply referred to as Big Boob the whole time. Boob with 2 zeros. The student council classmate Fukiose, who's a very strict, commanding lady, and wears very poor quality T-shirts and drinks lots of milk. You can tell because she's got the big boob. I mean, boobs.
These girls need to invest in some thicker T-shirts.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, maybe it's the school cheaping out. Because
this is an epidemic. I guess they are the rejects of which I was not aware of before this.
Yeah, of course he goes to a delinquent school. Yeah.
They invest in some T-shirts, just wear 2 T-shirts because you can't risk having your tatas exposed every chance that you're a little bit saturated.
I mean, how often are you wet though? I don't know.
If you're meat constantly, no. I'm always wet.
It's hot down
That's
there.
My secret.
It's different.
Yeah, well, it's not even. It's just I can't help it. I'm just soaking all the time.
I mean, Japanese people don't sweat,
so I decided to mix things up for a bit and not drink a couple nights in a row.
Whoa!
And instead of drinking all of the nights in a row, well, I slept way better, but in the process of sleeping way better, I slept way harder. Which you know what a hard sleep is, right? You know what I mean?
Where you wake up and there's all the fucking lines on your face because you didn't move at all.
Right, because you've just been in an esoteric horror dream for fucking. I turned into a lens. I turned into like a photo, like a fucking, like a camera lens.
Oh my god!
Can you believe that shit? this is a bizarre dream. I don't remember who I'm being chased by. I have inkling suspicions of who these motherfuckers might be, but I'm being chased in my dream, and I'm rolling down a hill, and I'm like, what form would be better for rolling down a hill and getting away from these motherfuckers? It was a camera lens.
Smoking salvia in your dream? What the fuck?
No, I just said because when you drink it kind of upsets your sleep cycle and makes you a little bit less likely to dream super heavily. And then it all came back to me at once. God damn, these were some very intense dreams where I am physically a lens, and then I Transformer style transform back into a person.
Oh, that's good.
This shows where my mental state is at.
I should start drinking heavily and then stop so that I can do that. That sounds fun.
It works.
Cool.
It works. You'll wake up, and the first night you'll be in a heavy sweat, and then the second night you'll wake up and you'll be pretty good. And you'll get some really, really, because what you'll have is
hold on. You talk about dreams. I'm gonna turn my mic I'm gonna play a game every 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna turn my mic off, and you have to fill while I blow the fuck out of my nose because my voice sounds silly.
Okay. So you drink for a week and a half in a row, and not a lot, just enough. Just like even a stiff beer a night. Like if you have like a 7% ABV beer, that is still enough to upset your sleep cycle if you drink it late enough, which I always do, baby. After breaking that cycle for the first time in a week and a half, it really just puts you in a crazy mental state when you go to bed. And you'll sleep way better, and you'll really appreciate when you get good sleep better. I think I drank for this episode, obviously, because you gotta loosen up before you get on the mic, so you get that good content flowing out of your fucking gams. You know what I mean? But I think I'm gonna stay away from the liquor for a little bit and just see how crazy deep the sleep rabbit hole can go. It's like when you stop jerking off, and then you just become like a testosterone crazed monster, where you're like hyper charismatic and your muscles are bigger, and like basically every woman around you is more attractive. You're not. I mean, you haven't watched porn in like 2 weeks, so. You just have more realistic beauty standards, and you start to respect people more than you usually do, and you find yourself becoming a better person, and you're more outgoing, and you just generally feel better. Acne goes away.
It's just
it's
my
like
life.
that, but instead with alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's me talking about not drinking booze.
I feel like I know too much.
Yeah, it's you also retain more when you don't drink booze. I don't know if you know this.
I can guess that makes a lot of intuitive sense.
When you don't consume substances and kind of go through life with a sober mind, you find yourself just generally getting more out of it, and you have a higher presence of mind, and you're more aware and astute, and But anyways, back to drinking booze. I think I need another beer.
Go for it.
I'm gonna get another beer.
Oh,
Vamp for me.
What does vamp mean?
I've covered this 8 fucking times. God damn it. Fill time.
Oh, okay. I just don't want to know how you get from vamp to, stretch or fill or stall or just talk. Talk is a word that we already have. Why vamp? What is vamp short for? It's not like the character Vamp from Metal Gear Solid 2. I think Vamp was introduced in 2.
I'm in a state right now where I walked by David while he went to get my beer without seeing him.
What?
Don't worry about it. Anyways.
All right. Where were we? Oh yeah. Toma and Misaka have a bet to see whose school will win the events they're in or something?
It's very loose and doesn't really matter that much.
But Toma's his school isn't feeling very confident because they all suck because they're all a bunch of losers. But then Toma sees a lolly teacher getting made fun of by another school's principal or something.
High school never ends.
And they all feel bad for her, so they decide to do really good in the tower in the man tower, what's it called, sport where they make the tower and they topple each other over.
I have been called a man tower before. Yes.
There you go. Some Big Boob does something here. I've just written Big Boob. I don't know what she did. She did something.
She's at the very minimum present, which justifies Big Boob.
Big Boob? Yeah, she does something good.
She walks around having big boobs.
Yeah, but so they win. Misaka steals Toma to win her scavenger hunt. So over the course of a few minutes here, Toma walks in on Big Boob. Oh, that's what happened. He walked in on Big Boob changing.
Right.
Instead of soaking water on her, which he did a few minutes before that, she's just buck-ass this time. At least, well, almost. She's got panties on, I guess.
Has Index been written out of this arc yet?
Not quite. She's still wandering around looking for food.
Okay, because she gets written out of this arc, and that we can't let Index be in this next series of episodes.
They still cut back to her every.
I know, but
times.
She's not allowed to be a part of the main plot.
Right. Yes, because she has to run around in a cheerleader outfit instead. And you know what? I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So he walks in on Big Boob, gets hit in the face, then walks in, not in, but because they're outside, like in the woods, walks in on Index, getting put into a cheerleader outfit by Lolly Teacher. I forgot how many times he walks in on girls changing. It's been 8 years, and you'd think that things have escalated to where I'd be like, oh man, I can't believe I thought this was ridiculous. This is quaint now, but no, it's still ridiculous.
And here's the thing: is that he remarks that his luck is so bad, but all these things point to it being the opposite. That's a pretty good look, if you ask me.
He just keeps getting. They hit him in the face, I assume. Or no, this time Index tries to bite him, but she accidentally kisses him. It's just different this time.
What a paradigm shift.
I don't know why the teacher's face was right in Index's pussy, though. I don't know why she had to. I don't know what she was doing.
Why is she putting the panties on for her? Why is she even present while this
adjusting the outfit, but she had to take her panties? I don't know. He's walked in on three or four times so far. This girl's changing, and I know it happens at least another time when they get to Italy later in the season. And there's probably twice as many misunderstandings, general misunderstandings as that. It's just so much. So then he gets punched by Big Boob because she walks in on this scene, I think. So punched by her, then gets led along by the hand. And they're developing her as a character, so I'm thinking oh, she's going to be evil or something's going to happen to her. And then we have a competitor, Big Boob, a rival Boob, who is blonde, and also
rival Boob, which is my favorite fighting game franchise, by the way.
Also looks like she's down to safari. A classic unbuttoned pants, almost completely unbuttoned shirt.
Classic.
You've seen that, the unbuttoned pants. There's the lady from, I don't know. That's the thing in anime.
Unbuttoned pants. I don't even know about anime. I know there was an era where girls would do that on magazine covers, not even specifically pornographic ones either.
I'm trying to think of where I've seen that in anime. I there was the girl from Deadly Premonition.
Angelina Jolie did that at one point. I'd put money on it.
I just know it's happened. And she's got a really sultry MILF voice, and her name is Oriana Thompson, and she's kind of a freak. A lot of things she says are innuendo. A lot of them, large percentage. And she's carrying a big tied up signpost or something, and when she shakes Toma's hand, we get the Imagine Breaker sound effect, which freaks both of them out. And he doesn't know what's going on. Episode 9.
We made it.
Episode 9 starts a 4 episode long, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, basically 5 episode long chasing Blonde Boob sequence. They spend a lot of this arc just trying to figure out where Blonde Boob is.
Featuring Blonde Man Gold Chain.
Yes, Tsuchimikado's here now.
I'm going to call him Shaba Ranks for the purpose of this.
What is Shaba Ranks?
6 gold chains, like I'm Shaba Ranks.
Oh, okay.
He's like a dance hall star. He's got a lot of gold chains.
Gotcha.
There's a song about him.
Yes,
it was like 2013
familiar.
at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a while ago.
So the episode 9, so Steel's here now, and Tsuchi Mikado, because they're both looking for Blonde Boob. So they all get together, they're chasing her. She said
the show is better when Tsuchi Mikado is around, by the way.
Tsuchi Mikado is great. Yeah, he's a bro. I'll say it. He's a bro.
Dude,
there's nothing.
Toma, what's up, bro?
It's let's fight
the Roman Orthodoxes, bro.
It's kind of like that, except not as sort of deep, but it's Kamiyan. It's like
crush this keg, Kamiyan. Yeah. Let's go fight some crime, bro.
Pour this beer over my abs, Kamiyan.
Whoa.
Sushi Mikado.
Oh my god. I feel like you could find a lot of girls named Veronica who wrote fan fiction like that.
Excellent. We're going to the fucking... I don't know where these gentlemen go. I can't even parody the bros.
Oh god.
You okay?
No.
Did you spill something?
No, I didn't spill anything. Okay. It's just spilled it down my throat, that's all.
Big Boob, or not Big Boob, Blonde Boob has set up booby traps.
Oh my god.
There you go.
It's horrible.
What?
Keep going.
So then we get a very, very long attempted triangulation sequence for Blonde Boob. And I think they find her. Toma and Shaba Ranks have to go to Toki Wadai, which is Misako's school, and compete in some kind of basket thing on a field against a bunch of really powerful fancy girls who are expanded upon as characters in Railgun, so that you'll recognize some of them if you watched that show. And I guess one of the baskets is cursed, because I don't know what she did to the basket.
Why?
I don't know why.
Why is it the baskets? Put it in like a tree or something.
I don't know
something
why.
Something with the least amount of activity around it.
I don't know why it was
didn't you put it specifically in a location where there's going to be thousands of eyes on it?
But also, he knows one of them's cursed and there's only like 6. Why doesn't he just touch all of them? He can just, all he has to do is touch it. So there's a long sequence. We forgot to go over the sequence earlier when Misaka steals him for the scavenger hunt. She gets all
hot and bothered.
Yeah, all flustered because he what's the? Oh no, actually, it's here where he like. There's a long protracted sequence where he's like, "Don't touch the pole."
The more ridiculous it gets, the more I enjoy it. By the way, it's probably like a 2 or 3 minute long sequence where the toe man is like, you can't touch that pole. But he doesn't say it's cursed.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything about it. He doesn't just like walk towards her and get in between her and the pole and just touch the pole.
Increasingly ridiculous as time goes on.
Then he has to say all these vague things that make her think that he's coming on to her, and then has to knock her down, and then feels her for a fever, so that it's fun. I guess it's really fucking stupid. But it's fun. Very, very red Misaka. But then it's the wrong pole, and Fukiyose, Big Boob, gets cursed.
Oh, no.
And it always...
She wasn't cursed enough already by back problems.
It always takes Toma so fucking long to touch someone when something really bad's happening to them. It's just like, oh no, this person is in pain.
He needs to be reminded by Shaba Ranks that he can do that.
Hey, go touch him, please. All right. Hey, go touch him, man. Hey, go touch my bro over there. Got some bad juju. Go touch him with your magic hand, man. What?
That's like dance hall beats.
Oh.
It's a boom, boom.
Hey man, touch my speakers. They're not putting out the right bass. He touches them and they just
fucking... man. Nobody can deny the dance hall beat, man.
It's not a dance party without the toe man, man.
Boom, ba-doom, ba-boom, ba-doom, ba-boom, ba-doom, ba-boom.
You saved my dance party. That's in the next RPG. He's one of the side quests. Thank goodness you got here in time, man. My party's bumping.
We got to triangulate the haters, man. I'm the general location dude.
I want a Persona dungeon it's all dance hall and there's just fucking
give it
people wearing
10
beads
years.
everywhere. Oh,
I bet that'll be there in 10 years.
Please, God.
Oh.
Please, Atlas. Oh, but that's the end of episode 9. And episode 10, Fukiose is put in the care of Frog Doc, who, Frog Doc,
legend.
Underrated. He's very cool. He's so cool. He's so calm and collected.
Who do you think I am? He says in response to, am I going to live?
Are you going to live? You're going to have 3 dicks, motherfucker. Are you going to live? You're in the hands of the Frog Doc.
Oh, man.
I gave you another
frog
kidney.
Man. I just made one.
Hey.
Yo, your urine is about to be so purified, people can just drink that shit straight.
Hey, remember that gallstone you had to deal with? Fucking what? You don't even have a gallbladder.
You know that athlete's foot that you were struggling against? You used every possible athlete's foot remedy that you were able to find on the internet. Cured.
Hey,
no more flaky feet for you.
I looked through the morgue index fucking foot model. Right there, fresh. Replaced your feet. They're nice. You can have a new career. Congratulations.
Just beautiful fucking feet. Kidding. I don't have a morgue because I'm the death canceller. No need. Anyways.
So, yes, and now they're still chasing Safari Boob in episode 10. She puts Rasta Frank, what's his name?
Shabba Rank.
She puts Shabba Rank out. So her and Toma fight. Again, very easily punches her. She gets away, though. The sword that she was supposedly carrying was obviously a decoy. It's just like a sign. It's just a piece of cardboard. But then the actual sword isn't a sword. It's actually the cross of Peter.
What?
Oh, my God. And the big plot reveals itself. The evil plot. Oh, no. Our fucking city of death and destruction might become more like the Vatican. Oh, no. So scary.
You sound a lot like a communist right now. This is a libertarian television show.
Oh, you're gonna lay out your big. Okay. Here's my Rothbardian interpretation of Toaru Kagaku no Index.
I don't think it needs an interpretation. It's just in the fucking literature. it's just in the fucking pages, dude. You just gotta read it. Like,
just read between the lines, man.
You don't even have to read between the lines. It's the fucking text, not even the subtext. We're fighting against fucking complete. I don't want to be folded into the cultural fabric. I want to be an outlier. There needs to be room for weirdness here. This is what this show stands for. Bug. Since moment zero, it's been fighting against conformity. Jesus.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but imagine if the entire city looked like Misaka's town. Wouldn't that be nice? Eh? Now I got you on board.
Oh my, that's called gentrification.
Exactly. Declan. Like this entire city ain't gentrified. It's for smart kids.
We still got a school for the scrappy underdogs. Ain't gentrified yet.
Okay. He's got a nice apartment, though. Episode 11 now. Then we get more comic relief, actually, at the end of episode 10, after we learn of the Catholic Church's plan to take over Academy City. Then Toma and Index go to eat at a family restaurant. What do they call them? Family Rest or something? And Misaka and her mom are there. Misaka and Index have some tension. A little bit of fighting. And then, episode 11, I guess everyone didn't know that Misa mom was her mom. Everyone's like, what? You're her mom?
You're this person that looks identical to you's mom? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, they thought it was her sister, I guess.
Now, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but we flipped sides between this is a thing that really bothered me. At the end of episode 10, the Misa mom is on the other side of the room. Don't worry about it.
I didn't. Okay.
It bothered me. Let's
I
keep
guess
going.
I didn't notice that. So yes, young mom and Index convinced or wants to prove to Toma that her belly is not getting bigger, so he hugs that tummy. Genius. The toe man. That's the most erotic thing that's happened in the show so far.
Yeah, for sure.
And Misaka and Guroko see this and get mad and probably hit him. I don't even remember. So, and that...
It's a little bite action, actually.
Okay, more bite action. There's a point where he says, "Wait, why aren't you biting me?" And she gets embarrassed. She doesn't want to bite him anymore because the last time she kissed him, this is in development. But then I think they get rid of that. That goes away very quickly. So... And then now Lolly Teacher and Steel are interacting. All my favorite characters. It's just the formula of this arc is you get like one scene of plot, and then we get two characters that we haven't seen talking to each other get to have a funny scene together, and I like it. I guess actually Lolly Teacher and Steel have been together in the same room in like the very first arc, but not since then. So this is good. And then also Himegami's back. Remember her, the vampire hunter girl or whatever?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
She's here, and she's getting development for some reason. I thought, why is she... Suddenly she's getting all...
We know how that goes.
Talking about Toma, and so they're still fucking chasing the titty monster. And like, you just put an announcement out on the intercom, for God's sake, you guys. It's just, hey,
you can't freak out the populace.
You don't freak them out. You just say, hey, this woman is retarded and missing. Please report. Like, just anything, you know. Just she has Down syndrome, very sexy Down syndrome. Please, if you see her, very easy to spot. She puts at some point. I forgot to mention this, but at some point she put on an even more ridiculous outfit. It's just like it's not like a bra. I don't know what it's called. The thing that just goes over the boobs.
It's called a shirt, Declan.
No, it's not a shirt. Shut the fuck up. Why are you doing this to me? What? So Oriana beats the shit out of 6 Chains, and but he tricks her into leaving by bluffing. Himegami, that she runs into Himegami, which is where Himegami comes into play. Oriana runs into Himegami and just fucking explodes her. Just annihilates her everywhere. Horror. So Steel agrees to help her because he recognizes the Lolly Teacher from the Index
This is
ceremony.
A really morbid scene. Because you see, like, it looks like there's fucking muscle that's visible here. Like, you see lines and shit, as if, like, we're being, seeing exposed muscle. That's just, I don't like seeing that.
Fucked up. Real bad, yeah.
No, thank you.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Just because Oriana thought she was from the Anglican Church because she had a rosary or something. So then Steel stays behind. Toma heads after Boop. Episode 12, something about the plan involves the sun. They have to do something about the sun. So they're still trying to find where the ladies are going to put the crotch of Peter or whatever it's called.
I'm sorry if I'm not of much help at this point, but it's like, I'm living this moment to moment. Like, I'm watching this stone cold sober, and it's all still washing over me. I think it's just, it's not important.
Okay, what is important?
Well, no, the show itself is important. It's just it's how I'm feeling moment to moment.
Okay. So Himegami is probably okay because they did some magic ceremony. Oriana feels bad about this, but she still continues with the plan. So they're still just looking for her. Ursula Aquinas is in some library, and she finds the location for him. So she phones that in to Toma.
I've removed my microphone from my microphone stand now, and I'm holding it.
You're very close. You might want.
I'm holding it like an MC.
Okay, just don't. Okay. You were clipping a lot last time. You don't need to.
Was I really clipping a lot?
Was it last time or?
I'm clipping a little. I was clipping a little bit when I first pulled the microphone off, but I got it now.
Okay, you still sound pretty loud, but you sound louder than before.
All right, keep going.
All right. It's again the formula. We just have like Ursula finds the location. That's the plot point, and then Kuroko meets Misa-mom. And it turns out also wants to fuck her. So
can't blame her.
Hey, what are you gonna do? At this point, really, I love the Toe Man, love him to death, love his passion. But at this point, how can you not be rooting for the church? Honestly, these guys running through. They got the cool ass sword. They got this lady, and Toma's just fucking like, my festival. I don't know anything about what's going on.
It ain't about the festival anymore.
No, it is about. He explicitly says it's just about the festival. That's what that's all he says.
I disagree.
No, he literally.
You have to read into the subtext.
No, he literally just says, "I'm only mad because you ruined my festival." That's what.
Oh, okay, yeah, you could say that, but he's a dumb kid. He doesn't know what he's actually mad about.
Well, yeah,
which is the greater things that are actually occurring here. It's the betrayal. And it's the fucking oh shit. Fuck.
Absinthe is great for delving into convoluted plot points.
I wasn't even good about explaining these plot points to begin with. But he can't even begin to understand the greater chess game that's going on in between the churches. So he might think it's only about the festival, but deep inside of him, there's something that's being aroused. A feeling of
I don't know, man.
Distaste.
You might be looking into it a bit. I think he basically explicitly says, and I believe him because he's trustworthy, I don't know shit about any of this. I just want to protect my festival.
Okay. Well, it's about protecting the ladies first and foremost, I'm sure.
I guess. Yeah. Protect my lady friends. So they're at an airport because that's where this is going down. Frank Chains, whatever, gets unceremoniously shower ranks.
Fucking whatever works perfectly.
Shaba Ranks gets unceremoniously fence shocked, which is almost comedic. He's just like, no, don't touch it, and he just gets electric fenced. He's like,
it's like that scene in Jurassic Park when the kid gets fucking shocked, and you're like, God damn it, kid! Like really, like you're not like as obnoxious as some young characters in films. You're by no means are you a short round, but this is pretty bad.
He's just lying on the ground, fried. He's like, Toma, go on without me. Kami-yan. Go on without me.
Toma, dip me in sweet and sour and consume me because I'm just delightfully crisp.
What are you saying? He gives a long speech, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about world peace, my festival. Episode 13, last episode of this arc. Number 2 character I want to kick me, just destroy my stomach with their sandals is Oriana. She's really just going deep into his rib cage with these fucking sandals she's got. They're kind of like heels. They're not high heels though. They're just like they're nice casual summer sandals. I like them. Tasteful. Unlike the rest of her outfit. But then he punches her twice. Really hard. Steel gets stabbed with crystals. Toma gives a really, really long motivational speech about something. Then
about how she's not living her life correctly.
Yes, she isn't. It doesn't get that. Which
is that a line from later on?
It must be from the second half of this season. Yeah, because that line is really in the show. Assuming for the second half, I got to get a hold of UTW subs. I think these were like retail subs or something. They were fucking terrible.
These subs start to get really awful
these
towards
subs
the
are
end.
Terrible. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. We can't do this for part 4.
It's not. We're not consuming it with the reverence that it deserves.
Yeah, it's very, very bad. Zapper is in here when he says "beery beery."
Ugh.
But you know what he means. But still, a lot of this stuff is just like, this is barely English. So she does not listen to his motivational speech, which gives him a license for that big punch. But she tries to explode him real big, but he's okay. He does the big punch on her, knocks her out, and then there's a very, very good pose of right staring up at him as a plane goes over him, and he's like half squatting.
That's my favorite part of this entire bit that we watched. It's so ridiculous and unself-aware.
Just squatting over the camera.
This is what dreams are made of.
But even though he's punched her, it turns out the crotch of Pedro is still active. So, and Oriana also just a decoy the whole time. So many decoys. So they're out of time. There's no hope. And then, the fireworks. The fireworks saved him because there can't be sun, or I don't know how that worked at all. I don't understand a bit, but
I completely understood this.
Yeah?
This was hype as fuck. I completely understand. It obscured the stars, so their star magic won't work. Come on, dude.
Oh, okay. It was about stars. All right.
Jesus.
I thought there was something about
I was
the sun.
like, this was a very tense moment for me. I'm like, because we're going into the second half of the season. I'm like, oh no, is this a bad end too for my Toe Man? Because but as it turns out, Toe Man had everything calculated, and he knew for a fact that the stars were going to be obscured by these fireworks.
I don't know if he knew that.
Oh, that's a great sequence. That's a great sequence when he's like, yeah, there's like 120 seconds left before this whole thing is enacted. Yeah, ridiculous.
And then our last scene here is the Anglican church takes out a plane with a nun in it, and she's falling, and like a very scared captain falls onto her as she's falling. I don't know if there's like a splat sound, but it doesn't seem like they could be going drastically different speeds. Anyways, Crowley is still in his tank, and he's still scheming. Himegami lives. She's okay. Toma's in the hospital. Everybody's in the hospital. Falling action. That's it for this half.
Okay. All right. I hope you're on the same level as me right now. You can't possibly be.
What's that? You cut out.
I hope you're on the same level as me right now.
Which is what?
Very drunk.
No. I don't have any booze in the house.
Okay. So this is what it's about, baby. This is it. If I had to show somebody, it's like, hey, I need to see anime warts and all, like a silly baka Westerner, who is like, hey, I need to know what anime's about. I probably give him Index at this point, because it's got like the best parts of like what makes mainstream Western approved anime good, and also what I appreciate as a hardcore anime fan.
I mean, I don't know if
in equal measure.
I don't know if you could really start someone out with this. This might be a bit much right off the bat.
It's not about starting them out. It's about jumping them into it. It's about like giving them the authentic experience. This is what I watch anime for, is Index. Like, this is exactly why I'm watching it, because when it's at its best, it is super rewarding and immensely enjoyable and consistently entertaining. And when it's at its worst, which is very infrequent, it's just like really gross to watch, but I love it anyway. I love it throughout the entire thing, warts and all. It's a great show, just super entertaining. And this is like, I think this series of episodes confirmed it to me that I fucking love Index. I think it's tremendous.
I like it a whole lot. It's great.
It's like my favorite parts of comics also wrapped into here, where there's equal parts bullshit that like is only justified by its own internal logic. It doesn't really hold up to any sort of external logic. I love it. It's got its own world, and it's got its own characters that exist inside that world, and they exist by that world's rules. And the rules are, we're going to do whatever is necessary for the plot to be hype as fuck.
To have fun.
And for our characters to seem badass. And it's just super fun. Super fun. Great show.
Yeah. We should do...
we
should do, when we're done with Index, we should do Heavy Object, which has similar levels of fun.
Okay, sign me up, because I'm like, I finished this arc and I'm fucking so excited to watch more Index. And it's just immensely watchable in a way that most other shows aren't. I would say like this is probably in like the top 5 or 6 most fuck that. This is one of the most watchable shows I've ever seen. I could sit down and consume 4 episodes of this, and it's like no time has passed. Yeah. I found myself sitting down after work. I'm like, okay, it's like 7:30. It's time to watch some anime. And then I'm like, I find myself going to bed after watching this. I'm like, oh, Jesus, so much time passed. This is crazy. But it was worth every fucking second. Just great. Just a great anime. I love it.
Yep. Index continues to be good.
It's legendary for a reason.
The second half of this season, I remember some things about it, and that's going to be fun. They go to Italy, as has been previewed. There's a lot more accelerator in the second half, I remember. And that's all I remember. So get hype for 3 to 4 months from now. Or, well, I don't know. Figure it out.
Because when we finished this arc, I had forgotten, because you sent me your legitimate DVD copy of this through the mail. And I forgot that I had so much more to watch in this season. And I was like, oh my God, I have to wait for a new season of this. But then I was reminded by my own brain that I had a lot more of this to watch pretty soon. And I'm fucking just really looking forward to it. I don't feel like I contributed anything intelligent this episode, but I mean, how many times can you say that you love something? I certainly don't tell my parents enough that I love them.
It's never enough. Yeah. See, it's never stop.
Index is the type of show that makes you tell your parents you love them.
There you go.
Perfect. They brought you into a world in which Index exists, and that's basically as good a world as it can exist.
Yeah. Remember to call your mom. Everyone listening, call your mom and thank her for bringing you into this world where Toaru Machutsu no Index exists.
Yes.
And then when she asks you what that means, just hang up the phone, please.
And that's all she needs to know.
And record it and send it to us.
And she'll be like, you know what? Doesn't matter what that means, because I love my kid. And if they're loving life this much, how can I have done wrong?
And then she watched the show and she's like, oh my God.
This is disgusting. Why is
should
this
have
little
aborted
girl
my
naked?
child.
Oh my God! This kid's gonna shoot up his school.
Pedo police. Yeah.
Oh. Anyways,
you know, Index is worth being disowned by my mom. I don't know about you, but that's how much I love Index. That's right. You can't compete with that bitch.
忘れない